a friend of mine, it's in my book too, kept telling me to see this band in LA called Van Halen because he was a guitar player too. And I was just starting to get it. And you've got to see this band. You got to see this band. And that was early 78. So I missed their Gazzarri's days and stuff. But he said they're playing the Whiskey. And I finally went and saw him, met Ed, became friends. And, you know, that's what made me move up to Los Angeles in 1980. You know, is seeing Van Halen just kicking ass at the Whiskey and knowing they were going to be huge. You know, I knew they were going to blow up.
Can you talk about, since we're on the subject, and I was going to bring that up as well, since you came up around the same time as Van Halen. Can you talk about Eddie Van Halen? I don't know what relationship that you guys have, or just your thoughts on Eddie and unfortunately his passing.
Yeah, well, he was a good friend. I mean, you know, like I say, back in the day when we first met, and it was, I mean, they were often running for, I guess, doing the big clubs for a year or two, 77, 8, before they got their deal. But, you know, I was a guitar guy, and there he was. I met David Lee Roth first, and all I wanted to do was meet Ed because I knew I was going to sing, but I didn't know in what capacity. So I always played the guitar. So we traded equipment with Ed, and I did, and then I introduced Robin and some friends, and we just became friends, you know, trading gear. You know, that's my being a guitar player first. As far as passing, I think it's terrible. A lot of cohorts musicians have fallen to that, and it's unfortunate. But he's, I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said about the man already?
Right.
You know, he did redefine how the electric guitar was going to be played in the 80s forward. Because Van Halen sure introduced a lot of 80s bands to the big rock, I call it, and they called it that. You know, that kind of a group. You know, think big. So Ed is he was an amazing guy. Besides a guitar player, I mean, it wasn't all music when we got together. We'd talk about other shit, shoot the shit. You know. But when it came to gear and equipment, yeah, it was very cool to know them, to hang and be a part of that. And, you know, believe me, his legacy will live on.
What did you feel about Guns N' Roses coming up? What were your impressions of them?
Well, that's an interesting one, too, because I met Steven Adler, Stevie, when they were just starting out clubbing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a little after Tracy Guns left the band. But then I ran into Stevie, met him. We became friends, and he was blown away by what I accomplished. I'm like, it's no big deal. I mean, look, you know, you work hard, you get it. And he'd come over all the time. And I remember the day I went and saw him once at the Troubadour, and I was like, okay, they're good. You know, they're good. That's all I could say about them.
All right.
You know, I'm sure they didn't think they were going to be, you know, introduced to the world in that big of a deal. But I'd hang out with Stevie and he'd go, man, I just, you know, want to get a record out and this and that. I remember he came over to my house with that cassette, right?
Okay.
Appetite, played it for me. The first thing I said to him is, you guys are going to be fucking huge. And he's like, no, man, no, you know, we got to get to Troubadour. You want to go? And I'm thinking, little do you know, I've already been there and done it per se. This was around 1986, 7, I guess. They came out, around there when I met him. And I just knew it. I knew it. I heard it just the same as Bon Jovi. We knew they were going to break. Poison the same way when they opened up for us. The reason they opened up for us is because Brett was hanging around with me. I kind of became friends. I don't know how, and I went and saw the band, told Robin about them, and we needed a band to open up. And I went, there's something about this band. I don't know what it is, but this guy keeps bugging me to open up a show. Hmm. And the band's called Poison, and they never did, but, they eventually did open up for us. And the Invasion tour. Oh, no, that was Bon Jovi. The later tour, Dancing Undercover, they did. And they toured with us, and that's how they broke. So it's pretty interesting. Like we called that one too. We knew there was something going on with that band. But if he didn't harass me as much as he did, have my band open up for you, give us a chance. Come on. Well, I did. I went to our guys and said, hey, let this band play a show with us, see what happens. So they did a big show with us, and the rest is history. Put it this way. That tour was Cheap Trick. It was Poison, Cheap Trick, and Ratt.
Wow.
By not even the quarter way through, they were getting a buzz, Poison, and they were out selling Cheap Trick. And Cheap Trick went to us, man, we're going to pull out of here because we can do our own thing. This band's kind of blowing up. We're not going to open up for them. And that's what happened. We moved Poison up in the tier and brought in I don't know, one of these Britney Fox bands or Great White or Lita or somebody, we liked having, one thing about Ratt, which a lot of people don't give us credit for, even the bands who opened up for us, you call it giving them a chance or whatever. They don't even bring it up. It's like, motherfuckers, you wouldn't have a fucking gig, man,
No, I agree with you. I'm all about giving credit where it's due and thanking people who've helped me along the way. No matter where
even
you're
Bon Jovi doesn't like to mention too much, but fans do bring it to their attention. Didn't you open up for them?
that to me, if that would give you credit, that would make me feel like street cred that I opened up for Ratt. If I'm Bon Jovi, who's just so far removed from the rock scene at this point,
And we knew they were going to break too. We knew it too. When we picked bands, we kind of, Robin and I, our manager and agents, we kind of went through this. You got to see this band. You got to see this band, because I was always out on the stuff, always looking at bands, always trying to see what was going on. And I still do. And the last, I don't know how many, last decade, there's been shit that's come out of this town. And even the bands that are happening, I don't think that are that happening, and then when you say rock is dead, all this other crap that's been going on, it makes me think, what, are you serious? Our kind of music, call it classic, call it whatever you want now. I love it. The fact that we've hung out this long, 36 years is, and as dysfunctional as a band we were and still are,
right?
As most rock bands are, success can kill you. And it either does that or it ends your career somehow. Ratt can't be exterminated, no pun intended. So,
right.
So that's that. But it's interesting you bring up the Geico commercial, because it really did do a lot for reintroducing the band to new folks.
I love it, because I want to see more bands that I like in more pop culture references. It's enough of, I see hip hop artists selling McDonald's, Snoop Dogg is in everything. It makes me happy seeing, when like Eddie Money, when a couple years ago, of course, when he did the 2 tickets thing for what was it, hotels.com or something like that. But I like seeing rockers in my TV, on my commercials, because it's like, okay, I'm not the only one. Because
and then also doing cameos. I did my fair share of I did a B movie thing, and I did this, and this wasn't the right time. But the fact that you can see, Eddie Money on a TV show guesting on King of Queens.
Yeah, he did a lot.
They come into a bunch of money and they hire him to play a song, 2 Tickets to Paradise, over and over again at their living room. It's brilliant, which is, I mean, it's all good. Look, all I am is a defender of the faith. That's all I am. I started this band, created this band. It is what it is what it was. But I've always done different projects and wanted to work on different music. I know what rap music is. I write it. I wrote it. I still do. But when I get into other kinds of music and my guys are going to go, "You're fucking nuts. That's not rap." Well, then I have an outlet for it and I can be creative, because I'm always writing. I mean, any given time, I'll just go upstairs, plug in the guitar and push record and away I go.